Thank you for watching WISD TV. My name is Dale Caffey, and I have a very special guest today. His name is Dr. John Engelhardt. He is the Dean of the School of Education at Baylor University. We're gathered here at University High School for a very special celebration today. Dr. Engelhardt presented some signage to the professional development schools at Waco ISD. So talk about today's very positive and enlightening event here at University High School, a very happy day.
That it is. Baylor has been very fortunate over the years to have a very strong working relationship with Waco ISD. And we wanted to create sort of a symbol of that partnership and a symbol of pride for the individual schools that they could share with the community, and as they looked upon themselves could feel some of that same pride by that experience. And that was our intent. It was actually a year in development to sort of get all the pieces put together, but it was a wonderful occasion, and we love the opportunity to be able to say thanks and to sort of cheer on the things that we are trying to accomplish as a partnership.
This all began back in the mid-1990s at a school called Hillcrest. At that point in time, it opened up as the only professional development school in Waco ISD, but boy, has it grown since then. So talk about how we've taken that model and expanded it all over the district.
Sure. That development of Hillcrest, a professional development school, was a long and intense development. It was Baylor and Waco's first opportunity to sort of think through what that means to be a partnership and work together to prepare teachers and educate children. So it took a couple of years really in development, but once having developed it for a while, we began to sort of share that with some other places. At the highest point, we had 9 schools in Waco, where I think we have currently 7 schools in Waco, and we are just so pleased to be able to work together with the faculty in the schools and with the children in those schools. As you know, Waco has a very special student population, and it's special in all sorts of ways, but it is very special for us because we know that if we can help our pre-service teachers, those that are learning to become teachers, learn how to work with the children in Waco, they can work in most school settings anywhere in the United States and be effective at it. So,
the formation of Hillcrest occurred before you were the Dean of the School of Education at Baylor University. You've been here now 7 years.
That's right.
So you've taken that model, though, and really tried to perfect it a lot. I believe that's been a focus of yours for quite some time.
Yes, it has. I think you're referring to my long history.
Right.
This is my 27th year as a dean, and throughout all of that 27 years, and in fact, even a few years before, I worked on developing partnerships between schools of education and local school districts, all in the enterprise of preparing teachers and educating children. And as I mentioned to the principals, this is by far the best partnership where there is give and take, there's a common understanding of what it is that we're both trying to do, a respect for which parts of what we're doing belong to whom, so we're not tripping over each other, a commitment of resources, both by the school system and by Baylor, to make this thing work. And sometimes it takes just a few dollars to make something important work, and we do that in Waco, and we are so pleased to be able to do that with you all.
And I believe you even expressed to Dr. Kane how this two-way street between Waco ISD and Baylor University has really worked to make the program strong.
Absolutely. She made a reference there that, you know, what we need to be doing is talking about the places that aren't always working and get those out on the table, talk about it, try to figure out resolutions, and then move forward together.
Let's go back to a little bit about the program and the signage that you presented to each of our PDS schools and the meaning behind those signs. I mean, just a wonderful signage. Baylor University developed that for us, and it's something that we can now showcase not only at Hillcrest, which has had signage like that for a while, but at our other campuses.
Yes. We wanted to do something that captured the sense of the program, capture the sense of pride that we all feel, but also created an image of the sort of status that we want to do. Sort of the difference between having a mascot, which looks sort of pedestrian, and having the university seal. This is trying to split the difference a little bit to be meaningful, yet not too esoteric, and convey some things. One of the things about it, it talks about our being proud partners, which is really important, I think, part of the message. It displays the school name, of course, but also has these little funny symbols on it, which are very hard to explain orally, but basically those are the symbols of what we call our conceptual framework for the program. And so they really symbolize the areas of knowledge and the approach that Baylor takes to preparing teachers working together with Waco schools. This one, this is the district one. Yes, we have one for the school district. And Bonnie, if you want to come up, I'll say thank you. Tell you what, you're coming up on that side, so we'll...
Let's shake hands.
Okay, yeah, shake hands where it's less awkward.
We will put this in our entryway down on the first floor, so everyone who comes in
Can see it.
Even though most of us go in on the second floor, our entryway. And I've even thought about maybe in the boardroom. I'm really torn between it being the entryway or in the boardroom.
Well, wherever you think
because
is.
if it's in the boardroom because of Channel 17, that would be something that, I mean, we could strategically place it.
Yes, sounds good. If you look at the sign, and when those of you that principals get yours, you'll see this funny little symbol on there. Can you see it a little bit from where you are? And you might say, where did that come from? Doug, where did that come from?
From our conceptual framework.
Exactly. That's the symbol we use for the conceptual framework for our program. And we sort of used it as kind of behind the scenes. So if you talk to any faculty at your school and you say, tell me about this symbol, they better give you a good answer to that. Also, these come with a particular kind of clip. You know, they are, you know, a quarter of an inch thick. And if you're thinking, well, we'll just stick it on the wall, and that, how neat is that going to be? This is a device that makes them stand out so they look like they're an inch thick. So they have some depth to them as you look at it. They're not of course, in the picture itself, but in how it stands out from the wall. And you can't steal it either, as they grab on and hold on with it. So anyway, thank you very much. Bill Shepard for University High School.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's the jump drive and the illustrations. And here's the...
It'll be in our entrance.
We'll do this. And I need to be able to shake hands with the left hand here. Very good. Oh, shall we do it again? Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, did you give Bill his?
I did. Bo? I don't know why she gave me this. Oh, she gave me this to give me the back. I'll tell you what, let me hold this where it's not in the way. And thank you very much. We really appreciate working with Cesar Chavez. And that's the jump drive. And
Thank you so much.
sure. Oh, that would be good. Thank you.
Melissa?
Yep. Mountain View. Oh, we'll do it this way.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Sorry for me. I need to find a Bells Hill. Thank you so very much. Always hear such good stories about Bells Hill. So, Hillcrest. Lisa's moving into the beginning of it all, the very first.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Parkdale. Marsha, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Make sure I don't get it wrong. Thank you very much.
I mean, this is a partnership that helps educate Waco ISD students, but also puts students that you have in the School of Education into our classrooms where they are immersed in education. I mean, they find out from day one if they want to be an education major. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, we formally admit students to the teacher preparation program in their junior year, but we have them in schools working in their freshman year and their sophomore year, and we want to look at them, but we also want them to figure out, is this something they really want to do with their lives? Once we get to the junior year, we're much more intensive, and of course we do the TA year where we spend, teaching assistant is the TA, where they spend 3 hours a day for 3 or 4 days a week, working intensively with the classroom teacher with support of what we call a site coordinator, which is a joint employee between the school district and Baylor. And we have a liaison from the university who's a faculty member that's working in the school. And we also have faculty dropping in who are teaching courses simultaneous to that with all those students. So we have lots of interaction. And we actually see that as the most critical year of the program. That's when they're really learning and forging the knowledge that they get. The senior year, they're in there full time, and we start them when you start school in August. So they see the first day of school and they know how a teacher establishes all those classroom rules that begin to set the tone for the year. And they're there the entire year. And we believe that's a very powerful way to prepare teachers. The feedback we get from them and from employers is really marvelous about the program and about the teachers that are being prepared. And it is in significant measure because of how we're working together with Waco schools.
And over the years, I'm glad to announce that we have hired fresh out of Baylor University, the teachers that have come into our classrooms, and because of that experience, they come in almost like a veteran teacher. And not only to us, but to schools all over the state. What they learn in our schools, they take statewide, and we appreciate that so much.
There's one of the concerns we both share is the presence of our students in Waco schools making a difference, not just in them, but in the education of kids. On the one hand, we can say it makes a difference because there are more adults in the room, we've got people who care about kids, and we can make a logical argument that really makes a difference in the education of kids, and I think most people would agree with that who's experienced it. But we now have data that begins to show that the presence of our students in Waco classrooms makes about 11% difference in the variance of their achievement in those schools. And in general, the more difficult the school, the greater the impact, and the less difficult the school in terms of the overall population, the less difference it makes in that school. So we know now for a fact that it isn't taking away from kids, it's really adding to kids in ways that are measurable.
Well, Dr. John Englehart, Baylor University, thank you so much for the partnership. Thank you for the signage that you presented to our principals today.
It's an act of joy.
Great. Once again, this is Dr. John Englehart. He's the Dean of the School of Education at Baylor University. We're here celebrating our new signage with that partnership. I'm at Waco ISD. My name is Dale Caffey. We have learners today and leaders tomorrow, thanks to great partnerships like the one we have with Baylor University.